जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Sangat ji, I'm going to be speaking in English for Mafi. This is a very special program today, Sangat ji, and it gives me great privilege to be able to partake in this program. With myself on the panel, we have Bhai Manveer Singh ji from Satakar Committee, Bhai Sikhraj Singh ji from Seek to Inspire, Bhai Sukhjeevan Singh ji from Seek to Inspire, and Bhai Deepa Singh ji from Sikh Youth UK. And this is why is it such a great privilege for myself today? Because they have humbly requested for myself to partake in this panel to be able to give you this good news. A good news for the Panth, both here in the UK and internationally. What's going to happen now going forward? Obviously, we've seen so many issues within the Panth, socially and spiritually, and all this on Maryada and all sorts of things happening over the past few years. So what's going to happen now is Seek to Inspire, along with Sikh Youth UK and Basics of Sikhi, are joining forces. They are going to be united to tackling the social problems within our community with alcohol and drug abuse. They're going to be helping us to do prachar on Sikhi prachar and letting us know what the truth is and making us aware of those people that might be trying to misguide us. This is an absolutely brilliant project that these Naujawan are partaking in, and they've given us the mocha. Look at this, they've given us an opportunity to partake in this journey, to bring in Ekta within our Panth. And this is how they're going to start. Today, what they're going to do is I'm going to let Sikhraj Singh ji, Bhai Sikhraj Singh ji Honi, explain a bit about the project and what they're going to be doing on a monthly basis up and down the country by uniting all. Regardless where you might be in your spiritual journey right now, where some are nearer, some are dur, everyone together will be allowed to partake in this journey. And they're going to be there to assist them. So they will be able to give the support that's needed for that spiritual nourishment of Sikhi. And also, like Sikh Youth UK are doing such a fantastic job of tackling drug and alcohol abuse within our community and bringing those people that are victims of this abuse into Sikhi. And if you're on Facebook and if you've had a chance to see the previous projects that Sikh Youth UK have done, how many Naujawan and how many families they have saved with Marzi Kirpa. And that's the social pakon. But from the spiritual pakon, we are so blessed to have with us Bhai Sikhraj Singh ji and Bhai Sukhjeevan Singh ji. These, I don't need to explain a lot about about seva that these Naujawan have done. Bhai Sikhraj Singh ji, on their own, Marzi Kirpa de Naal has got such blessings on them with the Panth that they've collected together so far. How many Naujawan they've inspired into Sikhi, and by Katha, Kirtan, Gurbani, Sikhi classes, these Naujawan already doing the seva. But what the whole point of this project is to say, look guys, these individual groups, imagine if we can get all the groups together on one platform and then say, look, we're going to support each other. None of this, Sadai group, everyone working collectively for the betterment of the Panth. That's the aprala that these Naujawan have started. And one of the things that, like I said to you, they're going to do is a question and answer. So if in the Sangat, if anyone's got any questions, any doubts, anything that's holding them back on their spiritual journey or getting closer to Sikhi or their Guru Sahib, please speak to Bhai Amandeep Singh ji, who's sitting right at the front there on the star. Just pass the question to them. They will be able to pass the question to ourselves. So far, with speaking to the Sangat in the Langar Hall and elsewhere in the Gurdwara Sahib, we managed to get together about, I think, just over 12 questions here. So we're going to go through those questions. And like I said, if anyone there in the Sangat, this is the whole point of these projects, anyone's got any doubt, any shanka, anything that's stopping them coming closer to their Guru, this is the point to ask it. You don't have to come up to the stage and ask, just pass the question to Bhai Mandeep Singh, who will write it down, and then pass it to ourselves, and I will pass it to the Naujawan here that are going to be answering these questions. Before we continue with the question and answer, it gives you a few minutes just to, for anyone who has got a question, to speak to Bhai Amandeep Singh ji. What I'm going to do is, Bhai Sikhraj Singh ji, could you please tell the Sangata on this amazing news, on this project that you Naujawan have started, please?
ਧੰਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ has blessed us that we have been able to gather together. We have approached many things. It was not just myself. I know Kam Singh, he has mentioned my name, but many things over this last week especially and previously have always come together and talked about that we do a lot of seva in our different organizations and we have different qualities. like Bhai Sahib said, Sikh youth do a lot of work in terms of developing socially, Seek to Inspire do in terms of spiritually focus, basics of Sikhi work on both of those and work very good on external to our own community, and it's about bringing those qualities together. So initially we, in terms of 3 organisations, along with other organisations like the Nihang Singh Jathebandiyan, some of the other organisations in our Qaum, in our Panth in the UK, we have come together. I've spoken to Bhai Jugraj Singh Ji this week at length over this. Sadhguru Sahib Ji di kirpa naal, even though he's in his situation that he's in, he is still wanting to continue to doing seva for the Qaum till his last breath, as we all should be hoping to do. And we have talked, we did Benti to him, some of his things from Basics of Sikhi are here today, and going forward, hopefully in our next programs, Bhai Sahib Ji will be involved themselves, and going forward we're going to have different opportunities to see how we can come together as the youth, if you will, to use that word, from England, or all of us that live in England, to see how we can go forward, move together, developing socially, spiritually, and then hopefully tackling some of those issues that faces as a Qaum and faces in our day-to-day lives. So today is about, we've talked about this for years and there's been many stop-starts and we've done programs, but as a Bahana, when Sikh youth did this program with Seek to Inspire, we contacted everybody and we hope to come together and move forward. And we want ideas from yourself of how we will take this forward. So for today, like I said, as Kam Singh said, definitely we've got the Singhs and Singhniya in the Sangat and on here that are all backing this. We are Hath Jod Ke Benti to other organisations. We have made approaches to other Jathebandiyan over the last few days. I don't want to name necessarily because it looks like that we're just naming people to show it, but those that we have met and spoken to, they know, and hopefully over the coming days, weeks, we can get everybody from every organisation, from any level of Sikhi together so we can all move forward together. Now that doesn't mean that we stop doing our own seva within our organisations, but once a month we will come together, talk from the same platform, do some Sikhi Prachar, talk about issues, whether they're social or spiritual, and then we move together with those and hopefully work on projects together. And then obviously when we go back to our own seva, whatever we do, we can do that as well. So on 2 levels it will be coming together as a Qaum to show Ekta, to show strength, to show that we have these views that are not necessarily been tackled over the previous years, that we can tackle these, move forward with them, and we can stand as one Qaum and hopefully move together for the betterment of all of us. So ਧੰਨਵਾਦ to all those Gursikhs, particularly by Jugraj Singh Ji, who ਆਪਾਂ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਵੀ please will you send some of your things, because we know that the plight you're in, it's going to be difficult for you to come. And 110% he says he wants to back this, and it's all about Guruji da Siddhant and moving forward to stand for Guruji da Siddhant of Seva and Simran and standing for what they've taught us, so we can all move together and we can develop through the social aspects but also develop spiritually, so we can, as we've come to this world, to join with Waheguru, and that is our aim for all coming together.
Thank you, Bhai Sahib. I was going to say, Satsang, that's amazing. This is exactly what the Panth required, for the elders and the Naujawan to come together, and that's exactly with Maharaji Apar Kirpa, that's exactly what's happening. So we fully support them. From Sikh Channel has given them the platform and have said to them that they will be covering this on a monthly basis to get out to the masses. So Sikh Channel will be done for allowing that to happen. But these guys, like I said, Satsang, you have to get involved. Don't think that they let them do it. It's all about the community cohesion. Everyone coming together. Every single person sitting in the Darbar Sahibs right now or watching at home or in their houses, you know that you have a skill set that's you're very good at. Those skill sets that you have to bring them together for the collective benefit of the Panth. That's what it's all about. Helping one another, helping our community become stronger. You know as well as I do, amount of issues that we have out there, and this is the sort of projects and the pralle that we must back to make sure that we can start tackling these things. So what we're going to do is, thank you, Bhai Jugraj Singh Ji, for letting the Sangat know what you guys are doing, and we'll be giving you more details in due course. But what we're going to do is, because we've only got limited time, we're going to go into the question and answer session. Like I said, Satsang Ji, whatever order the questions have come in, when we asked them outside, this is the Sangat's question, so the Sangat, this is the exact order that I'm going to go in. So what we'll do is, however you guys want to jump in or whatever, just let me know, Hannah. The first question that's been asked right here is, in the Hindu faith, they believe in reincarnation. Do Sikhs believe in the same thing? So I'll let Bhai Sukhdev Singh ji, if you could start, and then Bhai Sukhdev Singh ji, and then Bhai Manveer Singh.
Yeah, and in terms of Sikhi, obviously we believe in reincarnation, we believe in the 84 lakh June, we believe in the cycle of birth and death. It's not to say that we're necessarily Hindus. Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji came down to spread the truth. They're the form of Akal Purkh Vaheguru. Whatever the truth is, even if it overlaps in any other religion, there's some overlaps in the Hindu faith, their respected religion. There's some overlaps which people might say in the Islamic faith, their respected religions. All religions and faiths and practices are respected. But for us as Sikhs, our way is from Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, and in our faith, we do believe in the cycle of birth and death and reincarnation. But the point of it is, when we get this opportunity in this human life, this is the time when we can take on a guru. Our guru is Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Guru Khalsa Panth, and from their teachings to us, how spiritual teachings from Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, worldly teachings of how we live in our lives from the Guru Khalsa, we follow, listen, believe and follow those teachings, then we can come out of that birth and death life cycle and become one with Vaheguru. So we do believe in a birth and death life cycle. We believe in 84 lakh June, 8.4 million life species, but the meaning of life is not to stay in that, it's to come out of that and join with Vaheguru.
Hanji Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Firstly, because we are sat in the darbar of Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji, we're only speaking as vessels or mediums according to the Kirpa Sadguru Sahib Ji has done. Sare jawab, sara gyan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji de vich hai, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji bakshan wale hai. In regards to this question about reincarnation and Hinduism, just Bhai Sukhdev Singh Ji has explained it very well. We are going through as a Qaum maybe a period where we feel threat of other religions. Our religion is so superior and Sadhguru Sahib Ji is so great that we don't need to feel any sort of inferiority even if there are threats being made. Sadhguru Sahib Ji in all of their life forms, Dase Paatshahiyaan, they made Sikhi and Nirala Panth, Khalsa Panth. If we look at the festivals of India, Sadhguru Sahib Ji ne khandan nahi kita कि असी दिवाली या होली मनानी नहीं, पर इन्हां दी रूपरेखा बदल दित्ती. They changed the way that we fought. So होला महल्ला आउण वाला औरण की होली मम होला कृपा नित कहियो बाग अमोला. They changed the way that people fought. It was a festival where lots of bad things, intoxication and throwing colour at each other, all of these things occurred. Sadhguru Sahib Ji ne inu bir rasi bana ditta. So reincarnation does find its place in Gursikhi, but Gursikhi is not fixated on the afterlife or Swarga or Naraka or reincarnation. Sadhguru Sahib Ji is unique and the knowledge that they have given us is superior and great.
ਲੰਗਰ ਹਾਲ 'ਚ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਦੇਵੋ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਧਰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੀਇਨਕਾਰਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ 84 ਲੱਖ ਜੂਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਬਲੀਵ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਬਲੀਵ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ.
ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਹੁਤੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਦਰਸਾਇਆ ਹੈ. ਪਰ ਜੋ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਪੰਥ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਨਰਕ ਸਵਰਗ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਵਰਗ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਅਹਿਮੀਅਤ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਲਈ. ਸਿੱਖ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਹੁਕਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਤਾ ਜੁੜ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਗੁਰੂ ਕਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਦੱਸੀ ਮਰਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਉੱਪਰ ਚੱਲਣ ਦਾ ਯਤਨ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਰਕ ਸਵਰਗਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਰੇ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਅਤੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੀ ਉਪਾਧੀ ਹੈ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਆਪਣੀ ਭਜਨ ਬੰਦਗੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਖਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਨਰਕ ਸਵਰਗ ਤੋਂ ਪਰੇ 84 ਲੱਖ ਜੂਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਰੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਵਾਸਾ ਸੱਚਖੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ. ਅਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡਾ ਧਰਮ ਹੈ, ਸਿੱਖ ਧਰਮ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਰੇ ਹੈ. ਪਰ 84 ਲੱਖ ਜੂਨ ਹੈ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰਕ ਕੁਝ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਲਿਖੇ ਜਾਂ ਜਾਗਰੂਕ ਜਾਂ ਤੱਤ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦਾ ਖੰਡਨ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਇਹ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਟਰੈਂਡ ਹੀ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਹੈ. ਪਰ ਜੋ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਜੂਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੀ ਲੰਘ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਮਨੁੱਖਾ ਜਨਮ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਹੈ. ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੇ ਕਰਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੀ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ. ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਰਮ ਚੰਗੇ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਆ ਅਤੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੰਚਾਰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਦੀ ਦਾਤ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ, ਤੋਂ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੀ ਅਭੇਦਤਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। Just very simply finish off, basically every single person is a soul. That souls come from Akal Purukh directly, and this body is a vessel, and all the different species that Bhai Sahib has explained to you guys is different vessels, and that journey will continue until, like Bhai Sakrati explained, that until we rejoin with Paramatma. So this Atma that's inside us has to join with Paramatma. That's the ultimate goal, and that energy, that source entity, that will continue to go through the journey until that mission is accomplished. The next question that's been put on the piece of paper is, it says, what is Maya? If Maya is bad, why do we have a Golak? So, I don't write these, by the way, just to clarify that.
The question that Bhai Sahib said, why, so what is Maya? And if Maya is bad, why have a Golak? So I think the person asking this question is quite interesting, because what they've taken, the meaning or like a Punjabi connotation to Maya, that Maya is limited to meaning money. Maya is everything that would take us away from Akal Purukh Vaheguru. So that's the definition in Anand Sahib that we all read about, that Satguru Sahib Ji has blessed us, that Maya oh a jehdi sanu Parmeshwar to dur leke chale jandi hai. So I think that kind of answers itself. Why is there a Golak? Kyunki jehdi ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਇਆ ਲਾਉਣੀ ਆ, ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਨਿਮਿਤ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਰਪਣ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ। ਇਹ ਮਾਇਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਇਹਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕਰਕੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋ ਕੇ offering its services to Satguru Sahib Ji, then you've used it, you've channeled it in a way that it becomes positive. So Maya is not necessarily a negative or a positive thing. Akal Purukh Vaheguru in Gurbani tells us that this world was created of Maya, but when it takes us away from Akal Purukh Vaheguru, then it's a negative. And then when jitte seva de vich daswand de karjan de vich e Maya Guru Sahib Ji de agge, the Golak, I think in quite like a literal form, it represents the hierarchy, doesn't it? That Satguru Sahib Ji takht uppar birajman hai, te sari duniya di dhan daulat maya, all the wealth, all the power is in the feet of Satguru Sahib Ji. And Sikhs, out of their shraddha and devotion, they can only offer that to Satguru Sahib Ji in their lotus feet. If anyone wants to add anything onto that.
Satguru Sahib Ji in Japji Sahib we read, Kita pasao eko kabao tiste hoye lakh dariyao. So kabao can be translated to mean in one word, like we start at the start of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, you start of Japji Sahib, ik oankar, from that word, oankar brahma utpat, oankar kiya jin chit. So oankar is the word that Guru Sahib Ji, Akal Purukh Vaheguru used to create this expanse, to create everything. Now kabao can also be split into three, kakka, vava and uda, and just like Oankar can be split and translated into three forms, the three forms of Maya. So when Maya was created, Vaheguru Ji created Maya materialism, if you want to use an English word, and then from there they created the deities. Now some people believe them as deities, known as Brahma, Vishnu and Shivji. Some people believe them as Shaktiyan, God's powers. And we're not going to get into the Vad Vivad of are they Vaheguru's Shaktiyan, are they Vaheguru's deities, are they Devi Devte, whatever they are made from Vaheguru. And Vaheguru uses that to create, to nourish and destroy. Creation, we say, or they said, is Brahma. Nourishment or nourishing is Vishnuji, Palana Karnwala, and Laita Karnwala is Shivji. So some believe them as deities, some believe them as names for the Shaktiyan of Vaheguru, of creating, nourishing and destroying. So that is the creation of Maya. This materialistic world, everything is created with Maya. Kabao also can translate to like a dushalla, like a chadar that's been spread. So a chadar that's been spread is this creation, and it's created with Maya. So that the word Maya can be used to translate in terms of money specifically, which this question was about, but Maya is specifically this creation. And the idea of breaking through the birth and death life cycle is that we come out of this Maya, which is this 84 lakh June, linking to this first question, and it's to become one with Vaheguru, who are Niranjan, who are completely pure, immaculate, and becoming one with Akal Purukh Vaheguru. ਹੁਣ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਦੱਸ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਮਾਇਆ ਵੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਸਾਖੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਗੋਲਕ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਵੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਈ ਸੀ, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇੜੇ ਲਿਆਂਦੀ ਸੀ, ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ।
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਇਕੱਲੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੈਸਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਭਾਈ ਸੁਖਜੀਵਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ, ਗੋਲਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ। ਮਾਇਆ ਆਪਣੀ ਹਉਮੈ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਜਾਣਾ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਚੰਗੀਆਂ ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਇੱਛਾ ਰੱਖਣੀ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਹੈ। ਮਾਇਆ ਜੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੰਗਰ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਜਾਵੇ, ਇਸ ਮਾਇਆ ਇਸ ਪੈਸਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਦਸਵੰਧ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਕਿਰਤ ਕਰੋ। ਕਿਰਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਧਾਂਤ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਆ ਹੈ, ਕਿਰਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਦਸਵੰਧ ਦੇਣੀ। ਦਸਵੰਧ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਜੋ ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਕਾਰਜ ਆ ਉਹ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਆ, ਪਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੋਲਕ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਜੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਕਾਰਜਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਪਰੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਖਰਚਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਲੜਾਈ ਝਗੜੇ ਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਬਣਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਮਾਇਆ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਦਸਵੰਧ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਇਆ ਲੰਗਰ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਰੁਮਾਲੇ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਦੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਇਸ ਗੋਲਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹੀ ਆਉਣੇ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੋਸ਼ਾਕੇ ਹਨ, ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਚੌਰ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਮਾਇਆ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਲਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਪਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲਾਂਗਾ, ਹਾਲਾਂਕਿ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਟੋਕਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸ਼ਾਂਤਮਈ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਜਿਹਾ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਚੱਲਣਾ, ਪਰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਅੱਜ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੀ ਬਣਾਤੀ ਕਿ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 1 ਰੁਪਈਏ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਮੱਥਾ ਨਾ ਟੇਕੋ। ਇਹ ਆਮ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਪਰਚੇ ਵੀ ਵੰਡੇ ਗਏ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੱਤ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਾਉਂਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰਕ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਮੋਹਰੇ ਕਿ ਹਰਿਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ 'ਚੋਂ ਗੋਲਕ ਚੁਕਾਓ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਜੀ ਝਗੜਾ ਸਿਰਫ ਮਾਇਆ ਦਾ। ਪਰ ਦੂਜੇ ਪੱਖ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਉੱਥੇ 1 ਲੱਖ ਸੰਗਤ ਦਾ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦਾ ਵੀ ਛਕਦਾ ਆ, ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਸੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਪਰ ਮਾਇਆ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਰਫ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਗਿਣਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਖਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਹੀ ਆ, ਪਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਹਰ ਸ਼ੈ ਉਹ ਮਾਇਆ ਆ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਚੌਧਰ ਆ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਈਰਖਾ ਦੂਈ ਦਵੈਸ਼ ਹੈ ਜੀ।
Excellent.
Just what Bhai Manveer Singh ji was saying, just to reiterate that a little bit in English, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਹੋਰ ਕਰ ਦਈਏ। ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਕੀਤਾ that there is a lot of anti ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ sentiment ਜਾਂ anti ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖੀ sentiment। ਉਹ ਇਹ ਆ as an example ਕਿ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਤਨੇ ਸੁੰਦਰ ਚੰਦੋਆ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਆ, there's beautiful ਰਮਾਲਾ ਸਾਹਿਬs for ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। or people talk about, as Bhai Sahib ji was saying, that limiting your donation in the golak to 1 rupiah or something like that. These are anti-Sikh sentiments. Kyonki the people that say that you could use that money elsewhere, they say that that money could be used for the poor and needy. The simple question back to that is ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਚੰਦੋਏ ਤੇ ਰੁਮਾਲੇ ਲਹਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਗਰੀਬਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਭਰਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। So it's sort of a skepticism or a negativity that's going on. We as Sikhs, we offer whatever we can to Satguru Sahib Ji, and it's only an offering, and we do that ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਰੁਮਾਲਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਰਪਣ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਅੰਗੀਕਾਰ ਕਰਨ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲੋਕ ਪਰਲੋਕ ਦੇ ਪਰਦੇ ਕੱਜਣ, that they cover all of our vices, all of the things that are bad in us. So there's a positivity and a devotion, or ek bhagti da aspect ya jehda ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਹ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਖੰਡਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, and they want to finish it off. So it's an anti-Sikh sentiment that we need to get rid of.
Thank you. Just very quickly, like the Singhs have said, Maya is that thing that takes you away from Sikhi or Guru Sahib or devotion of Akal Purukh. So Maya can be absolutely anything physical or in a sort in your mind that is taking you away from Guru Sahib. Okay, so that's basically what Maya is, and the Singhs have done well to explain why the Golak's there and what the benefits of.
At British Gas, we've got some great news for our customers. Now you can control your heating from your phone, wherever you are, with Hive Active Heating for just £9 a month. Even better, you won't have to pay anything up front. And you'll never need to heat an empty home again. So, Join thousands of customers controlling their heating from their phone with Hive. Search British Gas Hive. If you need a new boiler, we'll give you £400 off until the 31st of March. Search British Gas New Boiler or call 0800 980 8182.
Imagine this fantastic website that compares all sorts, not just insurance.
All sorts? Fantastic, Skipper.
Stuff like broadband.
Broadband?
Savings.
Energy.
Or flights.
Flights? Fantastic idea, Skip.
Go Compare. You're quite alright, there's nothing quite like Go Compare. When you want to save, it should be your favorite. GoCompare.com is right up there. Yeah, yeah.
Anything can happen when you're out and about. But with the AA, there's no need to worry. Join from just £39 a year. Our cutting-edge technology means we can fix 8 out of 10 cars at the roadside in around 30 minutes. And with us, you'll get unlimited call-outs, so we'll never leave you stranded. So why wait? Breakdown membership from £39 a year. Search AA Winter or call 0800 107 1717. The AA, because anything can happen.
At Marbles, we work hard to accept you and put you in control, even if you have a poor credit history. Answer a few easy questions and our Fast Check service will tell you if you're likely to be accepted. You'll get an instant response and it won't affect your credit rating. Marbles' free SMS alerts could help you stay in charge of your spending, and you can change your monthly repayment date up to twice a year. Marbles' Classic card has a manageable credit limit from £250 up to £1,200. So get your application rolling at marbles.com today.
I really needed to make up the hours. I didn't ask for the flu last week. I need help. Quick, think.
Restore some order. Find out more at quickquid.co.uk.
Dobson's, your local timber and builders merchants from Stoke Road, Slough. The largest selection of timber, ironmongery, doors, sand and cement supplies, to name just a few. Call Dobson's now on 017 535 20978.
Next questions.
Yeah, so in regards to this question, a lot of these Shahidani Jaga, all I want to say on it is a lot of it is ghost worship, essentially. And we talked about reincarnation. Gurbani accepts the existence of spirits and ghosts. And many of these places, and when people, and I know many families are afflicted by issues that are going on in our Punjabi households, where these spirits are playing up, or they cannot get rid of a certain family tradition that they have. And all of this is rooted in ghost worship. ਤੇ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਲੈ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ.
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ. Next question I want to move on to. I'm going to join these two questions together. The question that was asked in the Langar Hall by a particular individual was, we're not meant to smoke tobacco, but what about shisha? Because there's quite a few Norjwan that go to shisha clubs now. And with that question, guys, I'm going to ask this follow-on question. If your child is smoking, how can you stop that individual? What should you do? So is there anything that parent can do if their child is smoking, along with what's this shisha business?
Okay, I'll answer this one.
Go deep.
When it comes to tobacco and shisha, as you know, Guru Kalgita, his horse didn't even go on the field of a tobacco. There was a field full of tobacco and the horse had that much sense not to go on there. Yeah, so we have to look into history to see in our history, in our itihas, where this stems from. So even a horse of our dhan, from Guru Gobind Singh's horse, didn't even go into that field where there was so much tobacco. If we look now, people would sell their dhan straight out for smoke. Just the sangat they have at schools and colleges, they smoke, so they want to fit in. So they use this and they fit in, and it takes them away from their guru. But then even a horse had that much knowledge to stay with our guru. Yeah, so we have to look at it in that sense. if we look at it like, obviously I want to speak a bit about what the project we're going to do collectively here and how this ties into that, because behind the scenes we've been doing this already between the groups. We've been doing this, but we haven't showed a collective platform ever, and this is what today's about. We need to show that collective platform and to work on these issues together, because I single-handedly and our team single-handedly can't do it alone. So with us together, it's stronger, we can help more people out there. And this is the issues that so many people are breaking away from Sikhi because of tobacco. These shisha bars, there's so many opened around Birmingham, 2 have been closed down. What's going on behind the scenes in these places is ridiculous. How they're grooming and prostituting young girls by luring them in with shisha and tobacco. So if anyone from your schools or colleges or unis are going down this road, anyone from your families are going down this road, bring them away from that, bring them into the bars, into Q&As like this, which are going to happen more regularly, so they got answers. And they've got Sangha like yourself sitting here to keep them strong. I'll round it off there.
Anyone else? But also, Satsanga Ji, if your child or anyone that you love, that could be your cousin or your friend, whoever it might be, if they are getting involved into things like shisha or tobacco, alcohol and drugs, you need to encourage them to come out of that by giving them support. And Baji's already mentioned, Sangat is exactly that same thing. So what we need to do is help them as much as you can, but then that farzbanda to bring that individual to the Guru Gar, when especially at this Guru Gar, you guys are so blessed that they've got Sikhi classes here every Friday night, they've got Simran classes here every single day, they've got a support mechanism here. That's what it's about, having that support, and by everyone getting involved. So if you do experience that, you can speak to Sikhs UK direct, they'll be able to give you encouragement, and they'll also be able to talk to that individual to help them come out. Okay. Next question is, can Sikhs get married to people from different faiths? Okay, might as well give that one to Deepa first.
Okay, I'll answer that as well. Interfaith and non-marriages are quite on the rise. They've been on the rise for a while. You can't marry out of faith unless the person accepts Sikhi, and that's the be-all and end-all. If they man Guru, then they can have an Anand marriage. If we compare it, the sadhkar we should have for an Anand marriage is the same as an Amrit Sanchar. Would we let anyone into an Amrit Sanchar without their kakar? No, we wouldn't. So it's like somebody coming here, they're going to do an Anand marriage, then they're going to go to a dera or a mosque and do the nikah or something else. You know, it's not possible. Physically, you're meant to be giving your head to the Guru, and what you're doing is going to put on a bakand and a show and then go somewhere else. And majority of the time, and I'm going to say it because it is live on Sikh channel, majority of the time when these interfaith and non-marriages do come up and pop up, majority of the time that they do pop up, it is 80% becomes from our girls, because they've always wanted this Bollywood wedding, and that's what the media's portrayed to them. And it's not their fault, it's our fault for not educating them. So we need to show them that support and education at young, so they don't go down these roads where they think it's okay to marry out of faith, because we don't want to lose more generations. We're losing so many at the moment that there is, and there's so many like opposition parties making this, going against the Ghalta, going against all these laws and guidelines that have been put in place for us to adhere to, and people are going against them, making other separate groups, so they're saying they can. At certain Gurdwara, you would have seen protests in the last few years. That you would only see the protest because of what the media is showing you that day, but you haven't seen behind the scenes where Singhs have sat with the committees, where the Singhs have sat with the families, and they've tried all these options. And what happens is they call the police on the Singhs, but nobody knows this. But obviously we've had a platform, and there's a collective Jathebandi here now, an organisation which is going to stand against all these issues and support, not stand just alone, but support, so we can get somewhere as a Panth.
So Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and the Guru Khalsa have told us that Kanya Deva Sikh ko leve nekesh dam, soi mera Sikh hai paunche gur ke tam. So very simply, a Sikh should marry a Sikh. So that doesn't mean necessarily, when we use this word interfaith, it doesn't mean that you can't have inter-caste marriage, you can't have inter-country marriage, inter-background marriage. You can marry anybody as long as they are Sikh. That's what Guru Gobind Singh Ji's, Guru Khalsa's teachings are. Okay? So when the Sikhs standing against that is not to disrespect. It's not to say no, that, you know, I'm trying to damage a wedding on the wedding day, because as Spice have said, there's much work that happens the previous weeks before that to hopefully find a way, find a solution that you can still have your blessings in the Hajuri of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, because that's what the families generally want. And as Spice have said, sometimes it's the committee members, because committees can charge for a wedding. Now, I'm a committee member myself, so I'm not having a go at committee members. What we're trying to do, the Benti, is that we should all stand up and rise and stick to Guruji Das Siddhant. And that's why, one of the reasons why we're all together. Stick to Guruji Das Siddhant. And it's not the idea of Guruji came 300 years ago, now we need to change because of the modern way and the develop. We can't change what Guruji gave us. We are developing with the times. We are practical with the times. But the teachings are still the teachings. And we can't change the teachings. So, ਇਹ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ. When there's an inter-religion marriage, there's nothing wrong with an English or a Punjabi Sikh marrying an American or a European. There's nothing wrong with it. There's many examples. Our own, we've talked about Bhai Jagraj Singh is married from, obviously, you could call him a Punjabi Sikh to a European Sikh Bibi. There's nothing against that. The key that Guruji is saying, Sikh with Sikh, and that is the key teaching. So it's about having that respect for our Guru and our teachings. It's not to turn anybody away. And yes, the media can portray that as being negative, but aapa hath jod ke benti karde hain. We are accommodating, as many families have had this, accommodating and find a way for those families to have a blessing, because that's what they want, and they want a blessing. We find ways, and there's many families that have been success stories like that, that have had their blessings in the Guru Ghar, but then they've done what they needed to do. So that's the key here. It's not about the youth trying to damage people's big day. It's about finding a solution collectively where they can still have their blessings, but the teachings of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji can still be upheld. And that's about working together. So that's what we're about. That's why we're all here. That's what we're doing going forward, and that's what we'd hope. I think we can continue, because I think there's only 20 minutes left.
Yes, so just very simply, Sat Sangat Ji, to partake in the Anand Karaj as per the guidelines historically and Sri Akal Takht Sahib, it has to be true Sikh. And anyone who wanted to get married from different faith, no, Sikhs are not stopping anyone from getting married, because that registry marriage, according to the law of the country, is still thingy. But a part of the Anand Karaj, to partake and be blessed and do Lama around Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, to make Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj the centre of your life. If you're not a Sikh, how does that work? It doesn't. So it's common sense, really. And moving on to the next question. Okay, this is Abibiji asked this question. She goes, why are there different types of Rera Sahib? Isn't it one in Guru Granth Sahib Ji sufficient? Surely Guru Granth Sahib Ji Rera Sahib is complete. And who and why were the additions made? So I think
Chalo, Rara Sahib, the question is about Rara Sahib and the different lengths of Rara Sahib. Rara Sahib, apa padde hain jidda Harmandir Sahib, and even in Guru Nanak Dev Ji's times, in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji we have Sodar de Shabad. And that Sodar di Chonki lagdi, a kirtan happens, har jug jug bhagtu paya, that's the Sodar di Chonki ala Shabad that is sung, fir Sri Rara Sahib Ji da part hunde a. And over the time of even the Gurus, the length of Rara Sahib Ji changed. So Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji di Sodar da Shabad aapa padde hain, Sodar tera keha so kar keha jit beh sarv samale. A similar version is in Japji Sahib, and a similar version is again in Asa Rag, because Guru Sahib Ji uchar that type of Shabad 3 times. But the one in Sri Rara Sahib, which comes in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, is as that. Over time, we got the addition of So Purk Niranjan, Har Purk Niranjan, Har Agama Agam Apara. So over time, that got added to Sri Rara Sahib. And then over time further again, when Guru Kalgitar Pita Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji added their Bani to that. So Sri Chaupi Sahib was added to that. And then some Dohore of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji was added to that. So Sri Rara Sahib is Sampuran. Now, we are not here to say, read this Rara Sahib or read that Rara Sahib. We're saying over time it has developed. And apa ehi benti karange, jithe tak padde padho ta sahi, read Rara Sahib, because that is the Nitnem, that is the Maryada of the Gursikh, that Sandhya Samay padhe rahe ras. We should read Rara Sahib Ji Sandhya Samay in the evening time when the sun is setting. However, we do always say, without disrespecting anybody who reads less, that jinna vad bani padange, unni ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੋਗੀ that's logically speaking that's not a dig at anybody that's logically speaking so ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਪੜੋ and ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ understand the bani of not only our gurus that are contained in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji but also the bani of our gurus Kalgitar Pita our father Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji that completes the Rehras when that bani is added Bhai Sahib Bhai Mani Singh Sahib Ji who Band Katte Si, one of the Shaheeds that Bhai Manveer Singh talked about, they have a Panj Granthi Pothi, and in that Panj Granthi Pothi is a version of Rehra Sahib that includes a lot of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji's Bani, but over time even Gursikhs have even added to that Bani. So aapa kehne vad to vad padho, let's not disrespect, let's not do irkha with each other, kat to kat padho in the evening, and then if you are reading Rehra Sahib, then at least try and expand and read as much as you can. So obviously, even at Harmandir Sahib, they read Chaupi Sahib as part of their Rehra Sahib, which is again slightly different. So Rehra Sahib, to answer this question specifically, is not just found in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Rehra Sahib, to complete it, you have to take Bani of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, and then the extent of that Bani that you take is dependent on your view, your mindset, your beliefs. Vad to vad Bani padho, aapa ta hi benti karange. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
Thank you. I think that summed it up. Let's
ਮੈਂ ਨਾਲ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਭਾਈ ਸਗਰਾਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਇਹ ਹੁਣੇ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਿੰਘ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਜਾਂ ਸਵਾਲ ਕਰਨੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ ਉਦੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਮੁੱਕ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਮੁੱਕ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਦਾ ਮੁੱਕਣ ਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਇਹ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਕੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਭਾਈ ਮਨੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਸਬੂਤ ਆ ਦਮਦਮਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਗੁਟਕਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਏ ਆ ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ੰਕੇ ਹੀ ਇੰਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਖੜੇ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਗਏ ਆ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਹਰੇਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਧਾਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸ਼ੰਕਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪੂਰਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸਹੀ ਛਕ ਲਿਆ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਪੂਰਾ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਧਾਰੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਮੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਮੁੱਖ ਕਵਾੜ 'ਤੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਮੂਲ ਮੰਤਰ ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਤੱਕ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਚੱਕਰ 'ਤੇ ਵੀ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਖੰਡੇ 'ਤੇ ਵੀ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਪਰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਖੜੇ ਇੰਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸ਼ੰਕੇ ਪਾਤੇ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਇਹ ਘਰ ਕਰ ਗਈ ਆ ਕਿ ਮੂਲ ਮੰਤਰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਆ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਮੁੰਦਾਵਣੀ ਤੱਕ ਆ ਜਾਂ 18-10-20 ਤੱਕ ਆ ਪਰ ਵੱਡੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਲੀਅਰਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਾਠ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹੀ ਪਾਠ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਗੁਟਕਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਹੱਥ ਲਿਖਤ ਹੈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਬਾਹਰੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ 5-10 ਜਾਣੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਦਈਏ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਹ ਮਰਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਹੀ ਬਣਾਤੀ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੀਸ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਮਰਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਲੋ ਕੀਤਾ ਜੋ 10ਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਆ ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੋ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਆ ਬਾਹਲੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸ਼ੰਕੇ ਜਾਂ ਸਵਾਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਬਜਾਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰੀਏ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਲੋ ਕੀਤਾ ਜੀ
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ moving on because we've only got about 11 minutes this is a pretty important question I think it affects everybody in the Darbar Sahib the questions that has been asked by another BB she says I tried to do my part and Simran but I still feel disconnected how can I get that connection and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another question onto that follows onto this is there different types of parts what's the purpose of them and how do they help so if we interlink all three of those things that'd be great so starting with Bhai Singh Ji how do you connect when you're doing Part or Simran she feels disconnected how do you do that connection
well from what Benji said or whoever asked the question if you're getting ill and then obviously you up the dose of the medication that you're on so if you're feeling disconnected and you're not feeling like you can focus then ਹੋਰ ਕਰੋ ਹੋਰ ਵਧਾਓ ਸਤ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਓ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਰੇਂਜ ਹਾਊਸ ਪਾਵਰ ਹਾਊਸ ਸੋ ਯਾ ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਹਾਂਜੀ to connect with the Simran ਹੈ ਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ you got to have belief and you've got to go through with it ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਦਵਾਈ ਦਿੰਨੇ ਆ sometimes it's cloudy you mix it with a bit of sweet you know juice or something and you give it you just got to in that initial process you've got to take what you feel is cauda that you can't connect with it and our mind sometimes wavers so to help with that tahi Guru Sahib ji ne sanu seva bakshiya if we do seva it helps us bring that focus in to the seva that we're doing and when we do that seva it'll help us overtake those issues, that tensions that come into our minds, and then when we sit and do Simran, then it's easier to concentrate. So I'm quite kind of giving a short answer, but the idea is of Seva and Simran that they work hand in hand and they support each other and they drive and motivate each other, which ultimately helps the concentration and connecting with Simran. And then the different types of parts, just very quickly, we have different types of parts. Apan Nitnem di gal kiti, Rera Sahib ji di gal kiti. Then we have obviously in the morning we have Panj Baniya, the same Panj Baniya that are used to create Amrit. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib ji used Japji Sahib, Jap Sahib, Twai Prasad Svaiye, Sri Chaupi Sahib, and the full 40 Paudiya Anand Sahib. So these are the Bani that Guru Gobind Singh Sahib ji used. And sometimes we hear, is it 3 Banis that we read? Is it different Banis? Do the Banis come from Guru Granth Sahib ji? Do they come from somewhere else? All throughout time, apart from this recent time, everybody, Vadde Vadere, Shaheedane, Gurmukh Mahapurush Gursikhs, Sri Japji Sahib from Sri Guru Granth Sahib ji, Sri Jap Sahib, Twai Prasad Svaiye, Sri Chaupi Sahib from Sahib Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib ji's Bani Dasam Granth Sahib ji, and 40 Paudiyan Sri Anand Sahib from Sri Guru Granth Sahib ji. That connection of bringing it together, that is our Panj Bani, and that is the morning Nitnem. And then from there, we've talked about Rera Sahib Kirtan Sola before we go to sleep. Then in the Guru Kars, we had a collective Akhand Path Sahib today, celebrating the Seva that Sikh Youth UK are doing, and remembering that. We're going to talk in a little while about our next program and where we can go next. But we have different types of parts in the Guru Kar. We have Sahaj parts. Sahaj parts is a complete reading of Sri Guru Granth Sahib ji, but taking small parts at a time, and that can go over 3 weeks, 40 days, 42 days, weeks, months. You can take that. That's a Sahaj part. It happens slowly. And then we have a Sri Akhand Path Sahib that we had a Bhog this morning, which is a complete reading of Sri Guru Granth Sahib ji. And with this Akhand Path Sahib, sometimes we have different rules and different regulations and add-ons. Sometimes Sri Japji Sahib, you'll see in some Gurdwara, are added to that, because these are the teachings that Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib ji give us. So that doesn't mean if there's an Akhand Path and Sri Japji Sahib isn't there, nothing will happen. Obviously, Bani is being read. But the more we go to those vidya, that's the word used, and those teachings that Guru Gobind Singh ji gave us, and the seva that they said, the add-ons that they gave us to fit the Akhand Path Sahib, we believe that the more power and kirpa will come from that. And then further to that, we have something called Sampat Parts. And again, I was talking with Gursikhs yesterday and today, that's what's coming to my mind, that a lot of people say, what is a Sampat Part? You know, and there's a lot of negativity about that, because they don't necessarily generally happen in the Gurdwara in England. So people don't even know what they are, and they're knocking that. That's different. It's something new. Nami cheez chalati inna ne. And then they'll associate that with Babya ne chalaiya, paise ikatthe karan vaste. But then at this flip side, we can always be negative. Apan negative na hoiye. Har ek cheez apan negative pakh ch dekhde hain. I would hope that we should always see everything on a positive path. When Sampat just means, the actual earth of it means a box, a dabba to contain. And a Sampat part is, when they read Sri Guru Granth Sahib ji, they'll read a paudi of Sri Guru Granth Sahib ji, a Shabad, then they will say Vaheguru, they'll read Mool Mantar, then they'll read the next paudi. And then they'll read Vaheguru, Mool Mantar, they'll say that again, and then they'll read the next paudi. And sometimes they add other Guru Granth Sahib ji Shabads to that. And Sampat means just containing each paudi of Guru Granth Sahib, each Shabad, sometimes each line with Mool Mantar and Vaheguru and another Shabad to give it more energy, more power, so that Ardas, we're adding more Bani to that to give more power to that Ardas. So we've seen that today. We had a Simran Japog, and it was a Simran Japog, and we're doing Vaheguru Mantar, but within that different Shabads were being read. And either side of those Shabads was Vaheguru Mantar. So you could say that is like a Sampat. So there's nothing negative around that. We do that in our Kirtan anyway. So if we do that with our part and Bani of Sri Guru Granth Sahib ji, why are we creating negativity? Aap pata hi beti sari nu karde hain, wherever we go, up and down the country, all around the world. Because Guru Gobind Singh Sahib ji ne kya si, Amrit Shako, te vad to vad Bani padho, te Shastrtari hovo. 3 bachan they gave as they left this world, and we've been celebrating their coming. So it's been on my mind a lot. At 10 bachan, ehi kamai jaiye, that is the main thing. Amrit Shako, rehta rakho, te Bani padho, vad to vad, that is the main thing. I'm going to speak very quickly because there's not much time left, and tell you about the next program, and then the other things can add on to that. The next program is going to be in a month's time, the end of March. We'll set the date, and it's to remember Bhai Jaspal Singh, who was Shaheed 5 years ago, standing against oppression. And I remember 5 years ago, the Sikh youth that sat on this stage came together at Baba Sang Gurdwara, and we did an Akhand Path to remember them at that time. And the next program after this is going to be a remembrance program for them, because they were a youth and they stood up and they gave their shahidi, actual shahidi, standing up against oppression and the negativity that was being spread about the Khalsa Panth. Bhai Jaspal Singh Naujawan, the next program is going to be in March. It should be down in London, so hopefully we'll be closer to Bhai Jugraj Singh and he can attend that program. Appa sari nu benti karange that attend that program, send that through social medias, the youth. The next program is the 25th of March, Southall Singh Sabha, and we're going to carry on this leher. And we want other organizations, young and old, bibiyan, kids, adults, Singhs, vad to vad join karo, because we are genuine and sincere in what we're saying. We want to come together and we want to make difference to the issues that our youth are facing in this country, our families are facing in this country. We spent so long within ourselves doing our own things that we're forgetting about our own spiritual and social development, and that's what this is about. I'm not going to speak a lot more because there's a few minutes left. I'm sure some of the other things want to wrap that up. So ਆਪਾਂ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, all ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ today ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਸਾਡੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੰਨੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ, ਨਿਹੰਗ ਸਿੰਘ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਸੰਪਰਦਾਇ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ basics of Sikhi, seek to inspire Singhs and Singhniya, and especially Sikh Youth UK, Singhs and Singhniya, all those jathebandi specifically, that doesn't leave anybody else out. Kar aapa hath jod ke sareyan nu benti karde hain, sare judo, sare ikatthe hovo, let's stand together and stand for Guru Ji da Siddhant. Let's move forward with that so we can live, listen, believe, follow their teachings, remember Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, and at the same time help us all develop socially, spiritually, so we can become one with Waheguru. मैं इन्नियां बेनती करके खिमा मांगदा, वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह. बाकी सिंगा तो सुनो जी.
हाँ जी. Anyone else want to add to the connection and how?
ठीक है. All वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह. Just to finish off with me, we're happy to be part of this new umbrella. It's going to be massive. We're going to push it vat to vat so we get all the Sikh societies on board. We get the future generations, because you know what? We cannot keep turning to people to give our future an answer. So we have to lead. Yeah, we're all leaders here. We all can lead by example, be it in the house, be it in your college, be it in your school. We're all future leaders, yeah? So we all have to lead by example. We're all going to give the gyan. We've got the social side, we've got the spiritual side, we've got the Sikhi side, the basics of Sikhi side. It's going to be a fantastic project. Please all be part of it. If you're part of any Sikh socks or any organizations, any Gurdwara, please come on board. Socially, we're going to be doing sports events as well to bring that, so you got your energy and strength building. This is what we do when we socially reform people. So it's really important, get involved. Any ideas you have, bring them forward to us so we can try and push them in the right way. Sikhi torte. That's all I got to say. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Firstly, while speaking, if we've made any mistakes, then please do forgive us. That's a benti with folded hands. And Ek Pita Ekaske Ham Barak Tu Mera Gurhai. That Satguru Sahib Ji is our father, and we're all the children. This Panth Agya Pe Akal Ki Tabi Chalayo Panth. This is with Akal Purkh Vaheguru's Agya. So we have a duty to come together as a Panth. ਤੇ ਪੰਥ ਦੀ ਏਕਤਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਏਕ ਪਿਤਾ ਏਕ ਸਕੇ ਹਮ ਬਾਰਕ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰਾ ਗੁਰਹਾਈ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਮੁੱਖ ਰੱਖੀਏ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
ਦਾਸ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਵੀ ਇਹੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਆ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੁਹਾਵਣਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਅੱਜ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਵਾਲੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਇਹਦਾ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਕਾਰਨ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਇਹ ਪੰਥ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਇਹਦੀ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਵੀ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਬਿਹਤਰ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸਿੱਖ ਯੂਥ ਵਾਲੇ ਉਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਸਿੱਖ ਟੂ ਇੰਸਪਾਇਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਨਿਹੰਗ ਸਿੰਘ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਭਾਈ ਬੇਸਿਕ ਟੂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਵੀ ਆਪ ਜੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਫਰਜ਼ ਬਣਦਾ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਸਟੇਜ 'ਤੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੰਘ ਇਹ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਦਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਫਰਜ਼ ਬਣਦਾ ਕਿ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਪਾਵਨ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਬਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ ਜੋ ਸਟੈਂਡਰਡ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਥਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਭਾ ਤਾਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਹੈ ਮੇਰਾ ਰੂਪ ਆ ਅਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਟੈਂਡਰਡ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਸਟੈਂਡਰਡ ਦੇ ਲਾਇਕ ਬਣ ਸਕੀਏ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਅਰਜ਼ੋਈਆਂ ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ ਕਰੀਏ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਸਾਡੇ 'ਤੇ ਤਰਸ ਕਰਨ ਕਿ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੱਡਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੀ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਘਾਲ ਕਮਾਈ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਉੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਆਵੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਬਚਨ ਕੀਤੇ ਕਿ ਪੰਥ ਵਸੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਜੜਾ ਮਨ ਚਾਓ ਘਨੇਰਾ, ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਪਿਰਿਟ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਕਿ ਪੰਥ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਨੰਬਰ 'ਤੇ ਹੋਵੇ, ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਜਾਂ ਸਿੰਘ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਉਹ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਣ, ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀਆਂ ਦੇ